Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Becoming Proactive with Soumya Agarwal. So we have to start with the other force. We have already discussed the force threat of new entrants, and there are 5 forces which affect the profitability of your business in an industry. So today we are going to start with bargaining power of buyers. So I'll give you an example. Like if you are from North India, then you must have watched Tarak Mehta Ka Ulta Chashma. In that, what happens? One lady comes, deals to the society with some vegetables, and she sells the vegetables to the ladies of Gokul Dham. So what do those ladies go? Gokul Dham is a society basically. Okay, it is a society where people live. So what do those ladies do? They come at once in a group. They come to the vegetable vendor and they purchase the vegetables in a group. Okay, so what happens in that case? Suppose the rate of potatoes is rupees 20 per kg. Okay, suppose the rate is rupees 20 per kg and there are 5 ladies in the society. Okay, or the 5 ladies have come in group to buy the vegetables. So what happens? They say to the vegetable vendor that we want 5 kgs of potatoes, but as we are purchasing it in a bulk, हमें 5 kg potato चाहिए, बट क्योंकि हम देखो बल्क में खरीद रहे हैं, तुमसे एक ही बार में 5 किलो खरीद रहे हैं, so you have to charge us a bit lesser. So what does the vegetable vendor does? The vegetable vendor charges rupees 18 instead of 20. The vegetable vendor charges rupees 18 for 5 kgs of potatoes. So in that way, what happens? The quantity is 5 kg. Okay, but when the vegetable vendor sells the vegetable or the potato for rupees 18 instead of 20, so what happens? The total cost that comes for 5 kg of potato is rupees 90. Okay, the total cost that comes is rupees 90. But on the other hand, if those ladies were not in a group and they have separately purchased the potatoes from the vegetable vendor, so in that case what would have happened? In that case, the vegetable vendor had charged rupees 20 from each and every lady in the society. Okay, so in that way the total cost of 5 kgs potatoes would have been rupees 100. But because as they were in group and they had purchased the whole quantity at once only, so therefore the vegetable vendor charged them a bit lesser, and in that way they earned rupees 10 profit. Okay, because in case they have bought it separately, it would have come to rupees 100, but as they have bought the potatoes at once only, so therefore the cost that came was rupees just 90. Okay, so this is how what is the bargaining power of buyers basically mean. So what is the meaning of bargaining power of buyers? This is the another force that influences the competitive condition of an industry. The force becomes heavier depending on the possibility of buyers forming groups or cartels. Because what happens, like I also want something, you also want something, and 2-3 people more also want something. So what will we do? We will form a group and at once we will go to the shopkeeper and we will say, देखो भैया, you are selling so much, we are purchasing so much at once only, we are purchasing a bulk amount at once only, so therefore you have to charge us a bit lesser. Okay, so this is the bargaining power of buyer. That means the buyers form a group, they collectively go to the shopkeeper and they purchase anything lesser than the actual price. Okay, so I hope it is clear. Now let's just read the content that is given in your book. So mostly this is a phenomena seen in industrial products. Quite often users of industrial products come together formally or even informally and exert pressure on the producer. So what are the buyers doing? They are exerting pressures. Either they are coming formally or either they are coming informally, and they are exerting pressure on the producer. So the bargaining power of the buyers influences not only the prices that the product producer can charge, but also influences cost and investments of the producer. This is because powerful buyers usually bargain for better services, which involves more investment on the part of the producer. Buyers of an industry's product or service can sometimes exert considerable pressure on exerting firms to secure lower prices or better services. So they are saying that the buyers either bargain for lesser price or either bargain for better services. If the buyers are demanding better service, then you have to invest. You have to invest in your services. Then only you will be able to provide better service to the customer. Also, if they are bargaining for lower price, then again you have to consider the cost of producing. Okay, so in both the categories, in both the ways, there is some pressure exerted on the supplier from the side of buyer. Okay, so this leverage is particularly evident when, now, in what all circumstances can the buyer exert pressure? Can the buyer influence the prices? Okay, so these are some situations in which buyer can bargain. So first is that buyer have full knowledge of the source of product and their substitutes. Like they say that itne mein dena hai to do. If you want to give at this particular price, then give. Otherwise, we will go to the next, or otherwise we will switch to the next product. So if they have full knowledge about the product, or if there are available substitutes of that particular product. So thus challenging the price being charged by the producers. Like you have seen, most of the Indian ladies have this habit of bargaining. So what does your mama says that barabar wala to itne ka de raha hai, right? So what is she doing? She's bargaining. And what is she doing? She's saying that if you want to give at this price, then give, otherwise I'll switch to the next supplier, right? Now second is, they spend a lot of money on the industry's product, that is they are big buyers, thus in a position to demand favorable terms of contract. So they are saying that if they are spending a lot of money on your product, then all the services that your product is giving should satisfy them. And if they are not satisfying them, if they are not able to satisfy them, then they can exert pressure on you, because they are demanding this particular circumstance is for better services. Like if I am investing on Apple iPhone, then I will obviously demand better service, right? So this is what it is. Now the industry's product is not perceived as critical to the buyer's need, and buyers are more concentrated that firms supplying the product. They can easily switch to the substitutes available. So they are saying that first of all, there is a presence of substitute. Also, if that product is not perceived as critical, like toothpaste, there are so many toothpaste like Colgate, Pepsodent, then Close Up, and many more, Meswak and all that. Okay, so what happens, like suppose if I am not satisfied with the price of toothpaste, then I can easily switch for Pepsodent. I'll not just buy toothpaste at the means the price that is supplier is charging. If I'll feel that the price is higher, then I'll obviously switch to the next product or the substitute of that particular toothpaste. Okay, but if that particular product is not critical to my need, like suppose fruits, okay, though it is recommended and it is also very healthy to eat fruits, but what happens, sometimes the prices of some fruits is very very high, and sometimes the fruits are available at reasonable price. Okay, so if you feel that the fruits are at very very high price, okay, that means the fruit vendors are not charging reasonable price. So what can happen, you will either not purchase that fruit, okay, because you feel that without eating fruits also you can survive. It is not actually very very required for survival. Fruits are not very very required. Okay, the basic wheat or the basic one time meal involves your vegetable, and also one vegetable can do. Okay, so obviously you will not fight for that. So if the product is not very critical to your need, or if there are a lot of substitutes available, then you can easily exert pressure. Or if the supplier will not agree to the prices you are saying, then you will not purchase. Simple. Okay, So if the supplier will know that if I'll not give this price to him, he will switch to the substitute product. So there are high chances that he will sell the product at the agreed price, okay, or at the price that you are demanding. So these are the three circumstances where the buyer can bargain, or buyer can exert pressure on supplier. First, full knowledge. Second, spend a lot of money. And third, either the product is not perceived as critical to your need, or there are a substitute available. Okay, so these points are very important, so you have to mark. These can be asked in short question or 5 marks question even. Okay, like they can tell you, or they can ask you that you have to explain the force of bargaining power of buyer and bargaining power of supplier, or any other force. Okay, so in that way, in that question you have to explain this. Okay, so I hope that this was clear. Now let's move to the next force, that is your bargaining power of suppliers. Now, just now we have studied the buyer bargaining power. In that, what we studied, that the buyer is demanding a particular price and exerting pressure on the supplier, and the supplier has to agree at the price buyer is demanding. मतलब जो price buyer बोल रहा है, buyer demand कर रहा है, उसी price पे supplier को sell करना पड़ रहा है. ठीक है? Now let's move on to the next force, and here bargaining power of supplier, that is in the favor of supplier. So you can write here, if you feel that you are getting confused, so you can write here in the favor of buyers, okay, and this is basically in favor of suppliers. Favor, not fever, it's favor. Okay, that means उनके पक्ष में, उनकी साइड से. Favor of suppliers. You can write here. I don't have much space, but you can write in your books with the help of your pen or pencil. So quite often suppliers do exercise considerable bargaining power over purchasing companies. The more specialized the offering from the supplier, greater may be clout. Further, when the suppliers are limited in number, they may openly exhibit their bargaining power. So they are saying that either the suppliers are limited, okay, or they are very, very specialized in their particular product, so they can exercise bargaining power. Okay, so the bargaining power of supplier determines the cost of raw materials and other inputs of industry, and therefore an industry's attractiveness and profitability. So they are saying that bargaining power of supply, what does it indicate? That the industry is able to earn proper attractiveness and also profitability. So supplier can influence profitability of an industry in a number of ways. So they are saying that supplier can exert bargaining power in the following ways or in the following circumstances. So what is? First, their products are crucial to the buyer and substitutes are not available. Like suppose basmati rice. Okay, so basmati rice, though there are a lot of rice, but the people who eat only basmati rice will eat only basmati rice. They will not switch. They cannot eat any other rice. So in that way, the product becomes critical to them, and therefore they will buy those rice at whatever price the supplier will charge. Okay. Second is, they can ensure high switching costs. Now suppose if I am an Android user and I want to switch to iPhone, then I have to exert a lot of switching cost, a high switching cost. That means the switching cost will be high. Okay. So if the switching cost is high, so I will agree to whatever the supplier will charge. I'll say कि कोई बात नहीं है, Android में ही I'll take, but no problem, but I cannot switch to Apple because the switching cost is very high. Okay, so if there is high switching cost, if the product is crucial, and the third is there are more concentrated than their buyers, less suppliers, more buyers, less suppliers, more buyers. One example of this can also be Ruh Afza. You cannot find any substitute for Ruh Afza also, right? So this can also be an example that there are less suppliers but more buyers. Okay. Similarly, there are a lot of products. Right now, I'm not clicking sufficient examples, but in case the suppliers are limited, but there are a lot of buyers, then who will win? Suppliers will win. They can charge whatever price they want, and the buyers have to pay for it because they do not have any other option. So, the three circumstances where suppliers can exercise bargaining power are: product is crucial, there is a high switching cost, and the suppliers are more concentrated. That means there are less suppliers and more buyers. And the bargaining power of buyers was it's vice versa, that the product was not very crucial, perceived not very crucial. There were substitutes, the buyers had full knowledge, and they spent a lot of money on the product. Okay, so these are your two forces. I hope you are clear till here. Now we will discuss this nature of rivalry afterwards, but here let's just discuss about substitute. So this threat of substitute, what is it? Now this was included here also. This was included here also, right? Substitute you have studied. So this is only the threat of substitute. Like suppose the toothpaste only, Colgate has a substitute, Pepsodent. Okay, so this is a threat to the Colgate company. When Pepsodent came, it was a threat of substitute. Okay, so if I am entering into the market, if I am entering into the industry, I have to consider that whether there are substitutes available of the product I am going to sell in the industry or not. Okay, so substitute products are latent, hidden but existing source of competition in an industry. In many cases, they grow to become a major constituent of competition. Substitute products that offer a price advantage or performance improvement to the consumers can drastically alter the competitive character of an industry. So this is very much common. Like if the substitute is there, substitute मतलब क्या हुआ? Basically, it is similar. That means if the work of one product is to clean anything, then the product of it, then the purpose of its substitute is also to clean that particular thing only. Like choline. Okay, so choline has, cleaning properties. It is a spray that is used to clean the glasses and all. So its substitute should also solve the same purpose. Then only it can be termed as substitute. Okay, so if suppose the choline is for rupees, I don't know the price, but I'm just assuming that it is rupees 150. And the other product that is similar to choline, that means it is a spray only that is used to clean glasses. So it is available for rupees, say 138. So obviously I will go to 138. Why will I waste my 12 rupees? है ना? Similarly, if the product is same, but its substitute, its substitute is a bit better in quality, and also the price is also not much different. So obviously I will switch to the better quality, or if the price is same and the quality is better, then obviously I will switch to the better quality, right? So for example, coir suffered at hands of synthetic fiber. Wherever significant investment in R&D is taking place, threat from substitute products can be expected. Substitutes too usually limit the prices and profit of an industry. So substitutes have a major impact on the price and profit of an industry. So as per Michael Porter, a final force that can influence an industry's profitability is availability of substitutes for the industry product. To predict profit pressure from the source of competition, firms must search for products that can perform the same or nearly the same functions as the own product. So this is what I just told you, that what is the substitute. They have just defined the substitute. Real estate, insurance, bonds and bank deposits, for example, are clear substitutes for common stocks because they represent alternate ways to invest funds. So they have given an example through invest funds like real estate, bonds, bank deposits, all are substitutes. Okay, like if you feel that this is not much profitable, then you can easily invest in bonds, and if you feel that bonds are also not profitable, you can easily deposit the money in the bank. So these are substitutes for each other. The threat of substitute is great in many high-tech industries as well. For example, introduction of digital film-less camera virtually replaced the film cameras and threatened the existence of Eastman Kodak and Fujifilm. You all know that why Kodak is discontinued, why Kodak has to liquidate. So this is because there were digital filmless cameras that came into the existence and were very liked by the customers. Further, the introduction of smartphones has replaced camera also. Now you don't need camera. You have so better quality of camera, okay, in your mobile phones only. So that is why the demand for camera is reduced. So these are the examples of substitute. The rapidly changing education landscape with the advent of online courses and degrees is a perfect example to the existing educational system with better approachability and access. Like you can say that live classes, online classes, these can be substitute for face-to-face classes. Okay, though still some students face better in face-to-face classes, but to a larger extent, the students who had to travel a lot or who had to leave their homes have really found it very effective. Okay, so these can be termed as substitutes. So these are the examples of substitutes. Okay, so one force is left. I will start with that force in the next class, and also I will discuss the business level strategies in the next class. Okay, and then we will wind up with the chapter. So in next class, or most probably next to next class, we are going to end with this chapter. Okay, I hope that my classes are helpful to you. If they are helping you, and if they are really helping you, then please do let me know through the comment section, and do join my Telegram channel. I'm telling you that will be very helpful to all of you. So with this, I'm ending this video here, and for any queries also you can feel free to contact me on Telegram, or you can comment down as well. So thank you so much to each and everyone.